did not have my mic earlier. My little cousin was watching me while I was playing, so in order to spare you guys from that, I decided to go ahead and not do the first part with you guys. But yeah, now moment ago, I did see I'm doing here. Here's like a level 18 now. But I'm gonna go ahead and back down. First, check out this stuff. So we don't carry. Let's go ahead and grab R2. How to coagulations find other things. Of course, I'm gonna a lot more than 3 with shit, I ain't got enough for the Vampyr, so let's go ahead. Yeah, let's get that. We've got damage, experience, all that. We need more of these lead rods. I'm thinking about going ahead and switching back to something like that.
cannot enter.
Strangers are attacking me! What happened? Who are you?
It's all right, sir. You're safe now.
Oh, a fellow Englishman. Thank you, sir. For a moment, I thought those bloody heathens had killed me.
What are you doing here? This place is not safe.
Yeah, it's a cesspool, but it's mine. I came to collect some overdue rent, but those who still live here have gone completely bonkers.
You're very lucky to be alive.
Yeah, filthy immigrants. Fucking savages, every one of them. And now with this bloody fever, they're just animals.
You can find safety of sorts in Whitechapel. If you're quick and cautious, you'll be able to avoid the savages.
Wait.
You had better return to Whitechapel without
Safety isn't really...
I don't know who he is. Hopefully he makes it home safe. Definitely get like a Bloodborne Final Fantasy vibe from it. What's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're enjoying it. 17, 16. I don't know how I got that. So that's where we need new hideout. Awesome. Let's see anything we can go ahead and craft.
I can't believe I'm doing this. This is despicable. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Gameplay.
to us!
More of these bloody leeches every night. Aye. But the guards recruit more and more every year.
Safer places to be than here.
Best stay back, sir. Are you deaf?
Mine!
It's locked. Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow. Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
Do you need assistance?
Please. Feeling...
There you go. Let's hope nobody steals it from you.
very funny.
Do you
Never heard of her.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
This note was found on a dead man, Albert. If that doesn't change your mind, then you must be ready to face the risks.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I've a...
Goodbye, young...
The Wet Boots will be proud of me.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy he just faked me last nerve.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. Now I'm just begging.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife. Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
A gun, alcohol, and...
The Wet Boots will be proud of me.
How are you?
I'm not your boy, or...
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything, it ain't me.
Medication and drugs are a rare commodity in East London. So you picked an easy target, didn't you?
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town.
I said sod off.
What happened?
Hey!
Medication.
Sod off, mister.
It's true. I'm not...
I said sod off.
Goodbye.
The Wet Boots will be proud of me. I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
How are you, boy? Goodbye, young man.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
Effectiveness has been proven by many. Even the flu is...
If I could get...
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually...
Then you have come to the right place.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Goodbye, Miss Swan.
I could get some work here.
Good evening, Benjamin.
I'm afraid no.
You don't seem well.
I always feel...
I will see you later. A gun... This is despicable. I have this thirst for blood. I can't believe I'm doing this. Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about you, boy. He asked me to look for you.
So my father actually worries about me, then? Okay, then. Come on, in. I'm Harry, by the way. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every day, but I'm fine.
Speaking of which, what can you tell me about your father?
My father is an idiot who makes idiot things. That's all I have to say.
Forgive my bluntness, young man, but you don't seem happy living in Whitechapel.
Why should I? I never wanted to come here in the first place. It was my father's decision. And look around you. Does this look like a nice place to live?
You have a roof over your head, a place to call home. Many people here are not as lucky, you know.
That's exactly what my father says. Harry, you should be grateful for what you've got. But I wasn't even consulted when we moved here.
If life here is so terrible for you, why don't you just leave this place? Have you ever spoken to your father about it?
I don't go outside. It terrifies me so. I went outside once without my father noticing and I saw terrible things. Bloody and frightening things.
So that's why you stay at home all day? For fear of the epidemic?
I'm not afraid of disease or death, Dr. Reed. It's the living I'm afraid of.
Forgive my blood.
Why should I?
You have a roof over...
That's exactly what my...
Do you know Nurse...
Yes, I know her. She came here to examine me when I was very sick. She said I should go out more.
Goodbye, young.
Even my dreams are so glue. Is there only pain?
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered.
Do you need any...
Yes, I do.
You'll feel better with this, but you need...
I'm not sure I'm happy with the idea of living long.
Goodbye, young man.
Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
Come on, we can sort it out, right? It's not my call, Barrett.
Excuse me.
Another journalist?
I'm not a journalist.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson's son, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
You're a dick.
Harry doesn't seem happy living in Whitechapel. Why did you make him come here?
I've always put my son's interests above everything else, whatever he may think. Our house is small but affordable. The walls are thin, but the door is solid.
You really love your son, don't you, Mr. Peterson?
He's my pride and joy. Even if he hates me for the choices I make and pushes me buttons more than he should.
Since the criminal nature of your job means you could be arrested, are you not afraid of what would happen to your boy if you were?
No one will ever take my son away from me. If that ever occurred, I'd hunt the bastard down and rip off his head with my bare hands.
Do you have any regrets?
Only one. Not to have my beloved wife by my side. She died when Harry was little. My sweet Jane. She gave the boy confidence.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod up.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Goodbye, Mr. Peter.
Take a look. Don't be afraid. Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
Goodbye for now.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no door.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really... I must insist, sir. Please let me see Nurse Crane.
I have no time.
I cannot enter.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look.
Fancy
Don't be
buys.
afraid.
You never... Have you heard...
Nurse Crane. So the bitch really isn't...
Yes, she's a nurse. And quite a good one.
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something
That doesn't explain why...
your precious Nurse Crane gives away...
Goodbye for now, Mr. Nobody at home.
That was weird. Alright, let's hear about
You again?
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine, and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
He ain't got no house. How do I upgrade my... What's up with this guy?
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Hey.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in her country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
So you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
What kind of...
I have heard enough for tonight.
Bro?
Goodbye.
Moral fiber. Email is like that, bro. It's not all about it. Oh. Hello.